Good morning, this is Mark Soderberg with ADM Investor Services with your early morning ag outlook for Thursday, January the 25th. Quiet trade here overnight, not much of a range, mixed trade, down a little bit right now in the corn, up a little bit in wheat, and the soy complex is mixed. Less than a dime range on the beans, couple cents in the corn, and barely a nickel here in the wheat. Most of the trade yesterday featured fund buying here in the wheat, just light selling pretty much everywhere else. We had funds buying about 5,000. Chicago wheat took their short position down to roughly 57,000 contracts. Open interest did fall. Just over 1,300 contracts in wheat, just a touch higher, pretty much everywhere else across the ag space. Weather in South America remains very little change from yesterday, mostly favorable for Brazil. Rainfall in week one of the outlook to favor the northern growing regions. Week two of the outlook sliding south, favoring the southern growing parts of the country with possibly minor harvest delays across the north. I think that will be offset, however, with the improved soil moisture for late developing beans and the second corn crop. Conditions in Argentina likely to remain dry over the next 10 days, with temperatures building to above normal levels by much above normal levels by early next week. Rains are forecast in the February 4th through the 10th time frame. However, coverage is likely to be rather erratic, and at this point, confidence is not terribly high. I would not expect to see significant changes in crop conditions with this afternoon's update from the Buenos Aires Grain Exchange. However, stress will likely build here over the next week, so look for steeper drops in crop ratings there and production forecast next week. The U.S. Drought Monitor later today, drought conditions in the western Corn Belt likely to increase a touch here with this limited rainfall and snow in this past week. Heavy rains this week across the U.S. Delta and Gulf Coast region. Likely not to be reflected in this week's drought monitor, but look for drops in drought ratings next week. U.S. export sales a little bit later today. Brazilian corn exports in January are expected to reach nearly 4 million metric tons, down about 1 million metric tons from a year ago. It was just over a year ago when China started to import large amounts of corn from our South American competitor. Brazilian soybean exports in January expected at about 2.3 million metric tons versus just under 1 million metric tons a year ago. Refinitiv Commodities, they cut their Brazilian soybean production estimate another 2% to 149.3 million metric tons. Below both USDA at 157 and CONAB, which is at 155.3. I do look for the USDA to cut their estimate next week in the February WASI report. However, I'm sorry, that's 2 weeks from now. However, likely to keep it above the 150 million metric ton figure. The world's first ethanol to sustainable jet fuel plant was unveiled yesterday in Somerton, Georgia. The $200 million facility built by LanzaJet will produce only 10 million gallons of sustainable aviation fuel and renewable diesel per year. However, the event was attended by members of the airline industry, green energy, and the USDA Secretary Vilsack. President Biden has called for at least 3 billion gallons of sustainable aviation fuel to be produced here in the U.S. by 2030. So something really could provide a nice boost to the corn usage side of the balance sheet. Next to start off with, March beans failed overnight to trade above the 1250 level. See if we can make another run later today. March corn continues to bump up against yesterday's high. If we can take that out above 453, not much resistance till we get to the 460 area, and we'll see if we get any follow through here on the wheat as it approaches 3-week highs. So thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day.